Multimedia elements graphics, importing images. So images can be imported into multimedia applications through a variety of ways using authoring software. These methods include Clipart, image libraries, scanning, graphics tablets, screen capture, camera, and using stock photographs, which kind of integrates into some of the other methods. So let's start looking at all these, beginning with clip art, which is a collection of images available through specific software applications. It was a popular feature of the Microsoft Office suite, though it's now been discontinued in favor of Bing's online image library, which has been integrated into Microsoft Office software applications. So what you would do traditionally is I'd want a picture of something in my actual document that I was creating. I could do a search through ClipUp, let's say for a printer, and then pictures of printers would pop up, and then I click and drag the picture into my document. That's now changed these days in that instead of having clip art there in Microsoft Word, I've now got access straight to Bing's library, okay, of all the pictures it's obtained from its search engine. And I can still do that same type of search and it'll bring up results, but they're not stored in the software anymore. They're stored online on Bing servers. And then I can click and drag once again pictures of printers that I can see through Bing search engine straight into my document, as you can see in the screen displayed here. But then, although it's kind of discontinued in the Microsoft Office suite, ClipArt's still available in other applications as well for users to use in their publications. But that was one of the most well-known ones there. But what it has kind of become is another category of importing images, which is that of image libraries. So programs and websites which contain their own catalog of images for users to access and use in their publications. These images may be free to use or they may require acknowledgement or need to be purchased depending on the library's copyright agreement. So some examples of libraries include Pixabay or FreePix, and they have different licensing for different images. So they've got some that are free or there's some that you can pay for, or it could be the same image but at a higher res, which is what you need to pay for. All right. There's also sites as well where they give you specific access to things classified as Creative Commons, where you are allowed to reuse the image, but then provide acknowledgement of where you got the image from and who created it. All right. So image libraries very popular online. There are many sites online and a great way of getting standard images for you to use in your applications that you might be developing. Both these kind of classifications include what's known as stock photographs. So images that are available through the libraries for further creative use. All right. And then as said, this stuff is outlined through the copyright agreement of the actual library. So how you actually source what you can do with this image is in its agreement for that site. So whether I need to say who's the person that provided the image or whether I can re-edit the image or whether I need to pay for the image, it all relates to the copyright agreement. But traditionally, stock photographs are meant to be reused. They're either databases or online libraries for people to access in order to obtain images for further use. So now let's move on to scanning. So in the case of scanning, we're getting an actual device to read data from a physical piece of paper or a physical photo and then emulate that same image digitally within a system. This was achieved traditionally through using a scanner which shined a bright light onto a paper-based sort and then reflected the light onto a photosensitive element through a series of mirrors in order to capture the image. The charged coupled device, the CCD, within the scanner contained the diodes that converted the photons of the reflected light into electrons, which then could be read by a system digitally. It also then could run it through colored filters, which helped define the levels of red, green, and blue, the RGB that we've spoken about before, contained within the image in order to then properly represent the color once the image was digitized. So here is my image. Here's the system that I'm scanning it into. I'd scan the image. The light would be reflected off that image using my scanner. It would identify the different levels of colors going through the color filters there, and then digitally recreate the image within my system. Now, types of scanners include flatbed, sheetbed, handheld, and drum. But scanning technology is now also integrated into mobile devices, okay, through the use of specific ads which can record the image data in conjunction with the device's camera. I use one called Cam Scanner Plus, which helps you, identify the actual page that I am scanning, and then it applies filters to it to do its best to recreate the actual image, okay, as it looks on the piece of paper and then digitizes it and puts it straight into my phone once I scan it. The next area is that of graphics tablets, which allow users to draw freehand onto a digital pad or screen using a stylus. So here is my graphics tablet and here is my stylus. The tablet was usually connected to a system where the drawn image would be represented, okay, on the system's monitor. So in order to do this, I'd have to connect my tablet to a system, right, so that the image would appear once I drew on the tablet. The technology within the pad emits electromagnetic signals, which interacts with the signal being sent from the stylus in order to pinpoint the location a user is drawing on the pad. So the stylus and the pad were communicating with each other. Newer versions of tablets also allow for pressure sensitivity. So what would happen here is I draw on the pad, okay, and I'm going to draw a circle here. It is sending signals between the stylus and my pad, and you can sense what I am drawing on the actual pad there. And then that image would be recreated on the screen of the system that the pad was connected to. Now, these days, similar technology is used in conjunction with mobile devices, allowing users to draw an image freehand straight onto the touchscreen of their mobile device, and the image would appear in real time on that device. So I don't actually have to be connected to a system. I can draw the circle straight onto my iPad, and I can see that circle come on as soon as I touch it because it's using a touchscreen there. And then I can send that image to wherever I want to use it, or use it within another app on my iPad. Okay, but still that technology is still around, but yeah, it's become more modern through touchscreen technology in our mobile devices. The next one is one that I'm using all the time. In fact, I'm using it right now, which is that of screen capture. Okay, software that allows users to both collect still images of image and video. Okay, as the system's making it appear on the monitor. These images can be used by users in their own media products. So right now I'm actually doing a screen record. You're seeing me go through a PowerPoint presentation talking about how to import images into a system. These days, screen capture tools are built into most desktop and mobile operating systems, with keyboard shortcuts such as Alt Print Screen on Windows-based systems or Command Shift 4 on Mac systems used to capture still images. Me doing a screen record on my Mac right now, it's actually Command Shift 5, and that's what gets it actually recording video. Once this action is performed, the user screen will be copied either in full or an area may be selected of the screen. The image may then be copied to the clipboard of the actual operating system so then I can paste it into my publication. Or in the case of the Mac, which I'm using right now, it will save it as a file for later use. Third-party software is also available that gives further functionality when screen capturing, as it allows me to actually crop the actual area I want to do, and I can actually annotate it, draw arrows on it, write labels on it, okay, which is also available. One such third-party software I think is called Spotlight, and that allows you to highlight areas of the image that you've captured, and then you save it after you've applied all those annotations. So what we're basically saying here for screen capturing is, let's say you took a screen capture of one of my presentations. So you're watching one of my presentations on screen. You're like, that's a good picture of a house in that corner there. You press Command Shift 4 and you are able to highlight that area of the house. From there, then it will automatically create a file and save it to your desktop if you're using a Mac OS there. And that will sit on your desktop and you can put in the folder location that you wish to use it in. The next one is digital cameras, obviously made for taking photos, but they take both image and video data these days, and predominantly we use digital cameras these days, so everything is saved digitally straight away. Once a still image is captured, the picture will be stored on the camera's SD card as a bitmap graphic, so it records the pixels and is set to a specific resolution, which is how the image is created for bitmap graphics. Okay, but then usually a compression method is applied to reduce its file size straight away. By default, it's usually JPEG, but it can also be set to PNG. Video data can also be captured by digital cameras, in which a sequence of images and their accompanying audio is recorded onto the camera's SD card as well. The camera or SD card will then need to be connected to a system in order to import images. Most digital cameras are capable of doing this wirelessly through Wi-Fi or Bluetooth technology to transfer the images from the camera to the system's library. Mobile devices these days also contain cameras which are capable of capturing, storing, and viewing data with ease of sharing through integrated apps, okay, and cloud technology. So I can share them between apps or share them with another device quite easily just by using a specific software tool.